Good evening. How are we? Here we are, another Monday, and we are back live with the Hair Show, Series 2, Episode 8. Yes, can't believe it, flying along. Great to have so many of you here on a Monday night. It doesn't feel like a Monday now without the Hair Show. This is your live talk show dedicated to the everyday hairdresser, people just like you, and I'm already seeing your comments coming in, which is so good. We love to see our community. So let's have a little peep. Who's looking in tonight? Well, first in with a comment tonight was Nathan. Hey, welcome along, Nathan. Nicola, good to see you here. Here he is, our main man, Lee. Great to see you, Lee. We've got Katrina there. Hey, Katrina. We've got Robert, but I'm going to be bringing you all in. If I don't get you in now, don't worry. Keep your comments coming in. Hey, Victoria. We've got Kelly there. We've got our main man, Dan Thomas, our producer. We've got the guys from Pivot Point UK. Alina, you're back, and you've got blonde hair, I see in that picture there. Looking good. Lucy, lovely to see you. As I say, keep them comments coming in tonight. So this is your show, the Hairdressers Show, and we genuinely mean this. This is the only show out there that brings the hairdressing community together to talk about big topics, things that are mattering to you right now in the world of hairdressing. And we've got a big surprise for you tonight. But the first thing I'm going to say, remember to like, share, love, let Facebook know that you are loving this show, because Facebook will send it out to many more hairdressers and barbers who need to know about the show. So what have we got coming up tonight? Well, let's hit that button and let's have a look. So coming up on tonight's The Hair Show, Series 2, Episode number 8. Well, first up, we are joined by special guest Karolina Sauders, great friend of ours. We are so excited to have Karolina here. Jordana's just having a day off today, got some things going on, so Karolina's here. Then we have also tonight hairdressing horror stories, always guaranteed to give us a shock, and a shock. I love them, and we always look forward to them. British Hairdressing Awards. Yes, it's a big day in the world of British hairdressing. Judging's been going on. There's been an announcement there. Does it matter anymore? Let's have your thoughts on the British Hairdressing Awards. Not another brand. What does your brand say about you? Why does it matter? We want to know on that. Hair today, gone tomorrow. Well, the damaging effects of alopecia. We've got a topic that needs discussing about that, so really looking forward to sharing that all with you as we go into it. So remember to stay locked into your show, the Everyday Hairdressers Show. So tonight we've got a big surprise. We've got a regular and a big surprise. So shall we bring along our two hosts who are going to be joining me throughout the night? Welcome to the show, Georgia Bell, Karolina Sauders. How you doing, Karolina?
Hi, how are you?
Great. Well, great to have you here, Karolina. So, George, you're here. So, what are we got Karolina here for?
Well, to bring the banter, baby. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Bringing the banter, having your opinion, and we thought you'd be the perfect person to do so, Karolina. So I'm excited to have you co-host with me.
Yeah, come on. So, come on, all you lovely lot. Come on, let's see some love hearts for Karolina. So I'm going to scroll down. Karolina, did I see Julie Bellinger here? Julie, I did see Julie there somewhere, didn't I? So Karolina, introduce yourself to the whole of our community.
Okay, so I'm Karolina Sauders. I'm the founder of Karolina Sauders Hair Design, as well as KSH Education. So I also do session styling. So I'm a session stylist in the fashion weeks. So that's kind of me in a little nutshell, really.
Brilliant. Well,
but I've been friends with you, Dom, for many years now, as well as Georgia. So it's really great to be in this show today.
Well,
Thank you.
And she's playing herself down, actually, guys. When she said she does session styling, she's shit hot at session styling. She's just not saying all right.
She is. I tell you what. What is she, George?
Shit hot at session styling.
She is, absolutely. So, Karolina, and also you're very involved with the fellowship as well, Karolina, it'd be fair to say.
I am, yeah. So I'm the Club Star Art Team mentor for this year and next year. So, yeah, I absolutely love that mentoring.
I know, you do such a great job of it. And we actually met, didn't we, Karolina, at Open Chair Night, Hair Club Live. That was the first time I met you back in, I can still remember the year, 2014 or 15? It was
Is that long ago? Yeah, we did. I
Birmingham,
remember
Kings of
Birmingham.
Yes, yeah, you came along and that was it. You blew us away that night, and great. So let's just have a little bit more of a catch up, and then we're gonna go into the topics tonight. And yeah, we've got lots to talk about. So yeah, we'll have a little look. But remember, please get your comments into the show. All right, things that you want to talk about. We've got things not always on topic. You're not always agreeing, are we, George?
No, I'm probably the head of controversy, aren't I, within the hair show? But yeah, it's all about different opinions, and it's good to bring it up because a lot of people don't ever want to cause any conflict or controversy, and we don't want to do that. But it's very important to take everyone's opinion on board, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Do you know, I'm already seeing here the comments and the community of this show. Honestly, Karolina, it's so special when you see your friends, because you feel like you're really getting to know everybody, and it's what makes our show. And yeah, I love it. It's great. And yeah, please do keep sharing it out. So Jordana's not here. She will be back next Monday. So we're not going to bring you the news tonight, but we feel there is big news for you. Okay, and that big news is British Hairdressing Awards. It's going on this year. It's going to be online, and today was a judging day. So that's going to be our first topic tonight, is about the British Hairdressing Awards. Does it still matter? Is it important to you? Why is it important? So let's play this video courtesy of our friends at Hairdressers Journal. So let's take a little peep to this.
My winning collection this year was really based about colour, working with different hair textures, working with different hair colours, and really kind of combining all of these things together in a very editorial inspired way. Working with two models or model duos in each image was something I really set myself that challenge of doing really. It's really hard creating an image where you've got one model where everything works well together, but getting two models to interact with each other, getting the hair to be perfect, can be quite challenging and quite hard. So I really wanted to set myself that challenge, but also show the maximum amount of hair work I possibly could in those individual images. I'm really proud with the collection I created because I think it really kind of shows a big cross-section of what the hairdressing industry is all about at the moment, and I hope it reflects the kind of work that we all do in salons on a day-to-day basis. To win this year has just been an absolute dream come true, and something that for our own family business is something I'm really excited about to bring back to Yorkshire, and how we can develop our business and my own personal kind of like journey in the industry. My advice to anybody who wants to enter the British Hairdressing Awards is to go for it. It can be something that really challenges and pushes you to the next kind of level within your own kind of creative ability. Working with models, makeup artists, photographers is something that really showcases hairdressing to the best ability that we actually have.
Oh, don't you love that fella, Robert Eaton? I've got to say, were we all really happy, Karolina, when he won British Hairdresser of the Year?
Oh, you know, Dom, I was watching it. For 1 year, I'd go there, and I was watching it from your live. Can you remember?
I certainly do. I remember sitting at that table all night with my phone.
Thank you very much for filming it for me. I was literally on your, come on, Dom.
But the whole thing, I mean, that was obviously a real defining moment for Robert, as it is for so many people, George. You know, entering the British Hairdressing Awards is such a big accolade. Is it something that you're kind of, is it relevant to you, the British Hairdressing Awards?
Yeah, do you know what? It's something that I really want to do. It's something that I've not done because I don't feel quite ready yet, and I feel like it's such a massive industry event, and I feel like it is the cream of the crop kind of event. I wouldn't want to, because I know it can be very expensive, for example. I wouldn't want to go and do it. I wouldn't want to run before I could walk, so that's the reason why I've held off, and when I feel as though I'm ready to enter, then I will.
Yeah. What about you, Karolina? Where do you stand on the British Hairdressing Awards?
I think it's really important to me, actually, and it's important to our industry to have that. Obviously, we're not going to have the actual event this year, which is going to be very different. But at the same time, especially right now, we need that excitement.
Absolutely.
I think it's really important.
I love that, actually. I think what you're sharing, and I will put that question out to all you guys and girls watching in. Does it matter to you, the British Hairdressing Awards? Yes, if it does. No, it doesn't. My thing at George is actually the British Hairdressing Awards. actually winning an award, not just talking about British Hairdresser of the Year, but I'm talking regional category, is that relevant to your business?
For me, I think, you know what, I think it's an industry event. So therefore, you know, the people that follow you within the industry, if you win that, then automatically within the industry, you're going to get some respect. Are clients going to come flocking through your door? Maybe not, but that's because clients do not have an understanding of what it takes in the industry to win that award. But what I was saying earlier, Dom, is I think that, you know, the more awards and the more accolades that you've got, I think the more you can justify a price increase, the more that you can become a location salon, the more that you can put yourself on the map. And actually, in turn, if clients are bothering to research you and your business, if all of a sudden that business they're researching has several awards attached to it, then I think that, yeah, it makes a difference. But I don't think it's going to make people running through your doors. Like, I don't think it will do that. But I think if you use it cleverly, it can make a difference.
And Karolina, I mean, in terms of what George has just said there, I always remember, certainly in the early days of the BHA, if you won the British Hairdresser of the Year, normally that meant that you were going to go on and launch a product range, you know, and I kind of think, has that celebrity part that you got from winning the BHA, does that still exist anymore?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it's still strong. I think it's really, you know, it's a huge award to, you know, to win, or even get to the finals, or even be part of it. Every time when you put a collection in, you will learn a bit more about yourself, and you will then launch that. It's also a marketing material for yourself. I mean, that collection, it can be used for loads of other things as well as that one competition.
Yeah.
But I do think it's really strong for for your salon. You bring people in. I strongly believe that you do bring people in with the awards, because every time when we've won a competition, it has brought in more people to our salon. So to me, that's really important.
And look, I'm just putting out different opinions. I'm going to bring in some of the comments, because I'm already... So when you see me looking down, it's because I'm seeing your comments coming in. 20 seconds delayed. And George, I've got to be honest, though, and this is just things I put out there. Is it still relevant in how it's judged? And I've talked to Jane, who I'm a massive fan of, Hairdressing Journal, and people will question, does the judging process of the photograph, does the photograph still get more in the way than the hair? And, you know, we've talked about that before, editing as well. You know, we've all walked around the galleries, and sometimes I worry about...
You are putting me on the spot tonight, aren't you, mate? You make me look like the villain. I do think it's like anything, innit? The more you get into it, the more you find your style. So it's not just a style of hair, it's also a style of photography. And there's a lot of photographers out there that do different styles. And I think it's about collaborating together to give an image. I know a lot of people say it's a photography competition against a hair competition. I still think, undoubtedly, no matter what, to win a British Hairdressing Award is still one of the greatest awards that we can achieve within our industry, and I think nothing should take away from that.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm going to go into it being online as well, because that's really important. But I just want to bring in some comment. Actually, you know, most of you all absolutely adore these awards. I can see it, but I'm going to go right back to an earlier comment, probably ages ago. Karolina, how you doing, Caroline? She judged it today, and the standard was excellent, and I felt very safe. And good luck to all who entered and take being a judge. Have you guys judged, Karolina? You judged the awards before?
No, I haven't. I think that's that'd be something amazing to be able to do, to be honest. But no, I haven't been a judge for BHA. I have judged other competitions though, but that's one that I would love to be part of.
Yeah, we've got Lee here. For the first part of my career, the BHA was everything. I feel these days social media, it spoilt us. I used to wait at Letterbox for the journal to surprise the bated breath of nominees, bring that back up again, and work presented. Also with clients, they used to love to hear, but I feel the awards have changed. George, what do you say to that?
Yeah, I think do you know what? Fame is so much more accessible now because of social media. I would say that, and I would say it's a lot easier to build a brand, build a business, build a collection because of social media. But I still think if you really want to be renowned in the industry, like a lot of us do, I think a lot of us want respect from our peers, and we want to be trained by the best people, and we want to be respected by other people within the industry. I still think awards like this are still really important. But, you know, maybe the special feeling of receiving that through the post has changed a little bit because of the accessibility that we've got to one another now, i.e. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. We all feel like we know each other because we're all in contact all the time, you know?
Yeah. I've just seen here this with Simon as well. Hi, Simon Townley. I think the BHA still matters, absolutely. However, I believe it's not the only thing that people in hairdressing strive for anymore. People have bring that back up again, have aspirations from being Insta famous. Very true, that's a subject. Being a celeb stylist, TV, all speak to different stylists. However, for me, the BHA is an elite for hair, Karolina.
Well, I think, yes. We're talking about Instagram, bringing it all out there, you know, and, you know, I don't know. I think there's still, when you see people at the collection and you see all the amazing work that gets put out there, it takes a lot to produce that. It's not just you know, when you put things together, you have to think your ideas and work as a team, and it takes a lot to, you know, bring out a great collection. Yeah. So whoever, you know, goes to win that regional final or it becomes the British Hairdresser of the Year, they bloody earned it.
No, I couldn't agree more.
I think they're really important, like Instagram or not, but to me that's, you know, I think it's
our Oscars, isn't it? Who doesn't love a night dressing up? I mean, I've had the pleasure to go to about the last 4 British Hairdresser of the Year awards, and my goodness, it is electric. And I've seen both of you at the awards night, haven't I? But that's my other thing. It's going to be online. I mean, everything's online. No fault of anybody's other than this horrendous thing that we have out there called COVID-19. Do you think we'll lose anything from that, George, because it's online?
No, I mean, do you know what? I have to commend Jane and I have to commend the team for doing it online, because you know what? It's just presenting a little bit of normality after a terrible year. You know, and it might not be the normality we know where we all go and get smashed and we all have the best night of our lives. But, you know, it is a bit of normality, and we can see people's collections. And, you know, people have still gone to effort and they've still gone to put those collections in, because despite having less money, despite COVID. So I think it's good that it's going online. I don't know what it'll be like, but I'll be getting a ticket and sinking a bottle of wine and watching the TV.
How much is it? Do we know how much it is to attend?
I've no idea.
Carolina?
I don't know.
So if anybody knows how much it is to attend, how many people can attend, and will you be paying to go online and watch the Hair Awards? That's a great question for you all, isn't it? Yes, if you're going to pay and watch the night, or no? Yes or no? Noel Colgan's here. Hi, Noel. Good to see you here. I always love Noel because you know he's going to mix it up. I think awards are different today, he says, because you have an available platform every minute of the day. I can see you nodding to that, George. And Caroline, I get where he's coming from, but I still think it's that specialness, isn't it? It is the specialness of winning an award. George, what are you doing now?
Well, it's around 250 quid. It's not 250 quid to watch it online.
Is it?
Never.
Let me scroll down to that. £250, is it? Yeah, Rob.
Are you sure?
Well, does that come with champagne, Robert? And do we get that through the post? Is that right? So £250. Are you all prepared to pay £250 to watch that online?
I need a face mask on because I can't contain my expression right now.
So do you not think that's... But aren't you actually going to be sitting in on a really elite night of British hairdressing? Aren't you prepared to pay that? Karolina, £250 going to pay?
I think I still would. I was on my edge of my seat last year, and I said to Mark, I said, why did I not go? What happened? Why couldn't we go? And I can't remember now why the reason was. But that's when you put it online, I put it live. I contacted you, Tom, and was like, don't turn it off.
Do you I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was, honestly, I sat there all night. So yeah, look, lots of you are going. Yeah, I'll be paying to watch. This is Saffron. We got to support the industry during these times. I think that's a really good shout there, Saffron. Robert, no to go.
It's just 250 quid to go, not online, guys. It's just me.
Emma's just asked, how do you go about watching online? Well, I think HJ will be giving some details on that. No, that's to attend. Julie, sorry, I'm a little bit behind, as you know, 20 seconds delay, so probably a bit back on what you're all putting in. I don't think that has been announced yet regarding tickets from Caroline, so maybe we've got to wait and see on that. But great stuff, British Hairdressing Awards. So look, we're going to go into our next topic now, guys. And this subject's come about being inspired by Georgia on this one. It's about branding. How important is your brand? And we've called this Not Another Brand. Here's a little video to just give you a little bit of a G up.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
God, how good's that video? Thank you, Jez Innerlux. He didn't know that we were going to play that again. Before we go into this subject, I'm going to give him detention. Robert, you absolute tease. It's not 250 quid. Honestly. Oh, you had us all there. George has just about come off the floor. So look, blame Robert for that, everybody. He was the one. He was the one. But look, we just played that video, and I think the one thing that comes through in that video is actually you can tell who's over that hair all the way, couldn't you, Karolina? I mean, it's just...
Yeah, definitely.
It's Sophia Hilton, who has, for me, been the absolute queen of social media of recent times. I mean, for an independent salon, she's not a massive chain. Yeah, she has been hot on brand, and it just seems to me everybody has been following her lead a bit in branding. So, George, you put this question out there really about branding, didn't you? You were, how important is it to you as a salon, bringing people through the door?
Yeah, I mean, until I went over to London, really, I didn't actually really, I'll be honest, I didn't really realise the importance of brand. In fact, I didn't really know what brand I was until I really started thinking about it. And then obviously you all know, lockdown came and I was Twisted Scissors for quite a while, and I'd gone for a walk one day and I couldn't think about it. And I did a huge rebrand because I just wanted to be inclusive of everybody, and I really started to, I've been understanding branding for the past 12 months, but I think you've really got to sit down and think about it, look at your location, look what you're about, and I've got 44 different salons in my town. It's a small town. What's going to differentiate me from other salons? And that's where branding comes in, and I think that's where it becomes really important.
Yeah, well, how far are you with your branding, Karolina? If I said to you, what is your brand? If you could say it in 2 words, what would it be?
We defined our brand because where we are, there's completely different branding for for myself as a hairdresser. I branded myself singly for my work. So I have my own aesthetic for my work. And then we have our salon aesthetic as well.
Yeah, okay.
So because we're in a small market town in Highworth, and everything's very more rural, and our salon, especially now when we've changed the interior, we've gone for more natural, eco-friendly, more wood, all that. So that's all kind of ties into our area as well.
Yeah.
When I started the salon, it was very different. So I think with our branding, we have changed. In 7 years, we have changed. So at the moment, I have a brand new team. So I'm working on the way they produce their color, like photographic work, for example, for the salon. So it's all about training them to see what you see. Yeah. And then we bring in the brand, our aesthetic into it. I love all my own aesthetic is always in the kind of more of a 70s, 80s punk pop subculture. I absolutely love that. But when you look at my salon, the actual interior doesn't say that.
Yeah.
It's not a punk salon. It's actually very natural, which brings my Scandinavian roots into it.
Oh, you little Scandi punk. I love it.
Yeah,
Bit of a Scandi
punk.
There's a new band for the
future. It's the same as well, isn't it? Because you don't want to, like when people come to my house, for example, because I'm crazy in what I wear and what I do, people automatically think there'll be teapots hanging from my ceiling, and my house is very minimalistic. Do you know what I mean? And it's very much with the salon as well, because very much when I opened Twisted Scissors, it was all about bright hair, so a lot of alternative people came. But in actual fact, we were very good at all manner of colour. So we were very good at natural, bleach, balayage. So I really wanted to create a salon that was inclusive of everybody, similar to what you've done, Karolina. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't want to pigeonhole yourself.
George, I'm going to jump in here because you've done a mighty brand change. You went from Twisted Scissors to Society by Georgia Bell. What was that, and what's that done for your business?
Do you know what? It's really opened it up. Actually, it's I wouldn't say it's made it busier. We're still just really steady. We've got a lot of people coming through the doors, but I think people don't feel. Like I said, we put out a lot of bright colour, a lot of crazy colour, and in actual fact, if I'm honest, 4 years ago, the work that I was putting out that I thought was really good, when I look back now, was pretty shit. And it's all about retraining your eye. So in actual fact, now we've retrained our eye and we've got our roots and we've got our brand. People are coming for natural hair, for highlight, for balayage, for bleach work, for bright hair. And I just felt like calling it Society was being inclusive of everyone around me. And it was just a little bit more grown up, and it was just the vibe that I wanted to go for, really.
I always think as a business, and I'm going to pick up some of your comments, there's some great stuff coming in, or as always, you never let us down, everybody. Every one of you should know what your brand is, all right? So put it in a comment here. Let us know what your brand is. So, George, bright colours, whatever that may be. Are you about cutting? I know we've got Noel here. He's all about workshop quality hair. I know so many of you for your brand. I know we've got Becky here. I know Becky for her nice, vibrant, vivid colours. We've got Cherie here. I know Cherie because what's Cherie well known for, Karolina? Do you know? Bridal, you see. There we go. Who we got else? We got, I'm going to try and pick you up on all your brands here. Transformations. We've got Simon Townley there. Simon, footballer's hair, yeah? Yeah, so it is really important. But I feel like that pressure when you see Sophia Hilton, the brand that she has created, how is she inspiring us in terms of what she's doing, George? Because I know you're a big fan of Sophia. Or is she inspiring us?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Absolutely. I think it's just about looking at who you are and deciding who you are and pushing forward. Like little things, like my education, my hairbrushes from Denman, like creating that. And then from having those hairbrushes by Denman, I've now got these tote bags that are coming with my branding on, and I'm going to sell them. And it's all these other little outlays within your business that you can actually, we were talking about this earlier, weren't we, Karolina? You can actually utilise your business and make maximum profit if you're a little bit clever with your noggin and you start branding yourself, you know what I mean?
But branding has never been so important, Karolina, has it? With social media, has that branding? Are you very consistent with your branding on social media?
I try to be, but sometimes it can be. To be quite honest, I think social media, when you're doing your social media, it can be easily lost there as well. So you have to carefully think what you're going to put in every day. So are you going to? Is it going to be part of your brand, or is it going to sway away from it? It's so easy to take your team's photo and put it out there and just then go, oh shoot, actually that wasn't really quite our branding. I liked it, but it didn't actually go with our ethos. So it's kind of finding that right balance. But then also I'm really big at the moment. I'm really big at promoting each individual team member as what they want to be at. So bring them as their own. So for example, one of my girls, she said, like, I really want to get into a bit more vivid colors. So that's what we are branding her with, more specific areas, rather than just, okay, we are as a salon, we are a color salon. No, we have individuals in our salon. They are employed by us, but they want to do something great.
I'm going to jump in there, Karolina, and because you've got us on that point, and that's really important, isn't it? And I think we brought this up before, but it needs touching upon again. You are both salon owners, right?
Yep.
Would the hairdressers in your team, are they entitled to create their own brand within your space, George? And are they within their own rights to post what they feel is reflective of them? So, for example, I work at Rush. Rush is very precision haircuts, yeah? But actually, I want to do bright, choppy. Are they right? Would Rush be right to say, look, no, anything you're posting on Instagram has to kind of be in keep with our brand?
Listen, if you're employed, then yeah, I believe a brand has got every right to say to you that it's got to be in keeping. Mine are self-employed, so in actual fact, they can post whatever they like. But I'm very fortunate that I've got a very close-knit team that, in actual fact, they've seen the success of my personal Instagram, and they will come to me and they will ask for help. And they won't post up anything that they don't like or I don't like. But I could never be in a position, because they're self-employed, and say, hang on, you can't post that. If you're an employer, however, yes, you can, because that's your brand. So I can understand both. I can understand both points there.
Yeah, are you with that as well, Karolina?
I am to a certain level, and I was very much, probably some time ago, I was a lot more picky with everything that the girls were putting on their pages. I have this theory now that if they like their photo and they are happy and they're really proud of it, by all means, they can put that on their page, but it doesn't mean that I will be advertising it on our page. You can't sort of kill their moment if they feel that's great work that they want to promote. But what I do is that I go through everything with my team. We look at all the photos together and we pick the ones that we think it looks, that looks good, or yeah, that doesn't. And we quickly just scan them through and go, okay, I think those ones are the great ones.
Cool.
You should use that. And they're really good at listening as well.
Yeah, well, that's always good.
That is all to do with retraining your eye, isn't it? Like I was saying earlier, because actually 4 years ago, the pictures that I thought were banging, Jesus Christ, I look at them now and I think, oh my God. And it's all about...
But your brand has changed, George, because let's be honest, and you're very open, when you were very unicorn colours and there were... But you've stripped that back, haven't you? And it's never too late to pivot with your brand and, sit down and really... Because sometimes I feel that we're so keen to get our work seen, but you post the wrong looks and it can be really damaging on your salon, George.
Yeah, and that's also part and parcel to know, not to know what your brand is, and you just think that's really cool, and you don't really know the message that you're putting out. And so for me now, a lot of less is more for me, but that's only because Sophia helped me to retrain my eye, and that's only what good training and good education does.
Yeah,
And not only from Sophia, from a lot of people in the industry. I've trained with a lot of people now.
When also with the hair awards, and I'm going to just pick up some of the comments that everybody's putting in here because I'm really keen to bring some of those in. But actually, sometimes with the British Hairdressing Awards, are people keeping to their brand and their signature look when entering awards, or are they kind of thinking, well, actually, I'm going to go with these looks because that's kind of what does well in the awards? Karolina?
I think there's a bit of both. It depends who you are. You can tell the person who goes with their own aesthetic, and then you know the people who you can see from the photo that they've gone, oh yeah, that was the winner last year, so I want to go with that kind of style. And I think personally, just go with your own style, do your own thing, because you will be way more proud of your work if it's something that you have created rather than try to look what happened last year.
Yeah, don't look.
Can I just say though, I think when you get into the industry, you'll feel an insane amount of pressure to impress your peers, and therefore you start to lose yourself because you're trying to retrain yourself, you're trying to get better. And actually, if I'd have just gone for a BHA 4 years ago, I'd have done what Georgia Bell loved because she don't know no different. But now I'm very almost treading on eggshells, actually, frightened of other people's judgment, and that's something I will admit, and something that's played on my mind a lot, that, oh, what if people hate it? You know, and really you should be doing whatever you do because you love it, and it's your collection.
Well, I always say that with guests in the How to Cut It podcast, I'm really keen to always know their signature style. It's about like an artist, isn't it? A music artist. They all have their particular signature style, and I think as hairdressers you do need that, and it's got to be consistent with your brand and awards. But we asked the question, you know, what is your brand, what do you stand with? Well, let me just go back to a few comments. You probably put them in ages ago. Kim Mullen, she has put hair finishing and bridal hair. Becky, transformations, I like that. Emma, what does Emma Holt stand for? Do you know?
Extensions.
Extensions, correct, yep. Noel Colgan, he stands for...
Cutting.
Precision hairdressing. Savas.
That's better way.
Our brand is ourselves. Colour correction expert. Oh, Alini, what does she stand for?
Colour.
Correct. I hope you haven't seen all of these. Caroline Gunner. What's Caroline put? Classic. Okay. Saffron colour. I love seeing what everybody stands for. Heather, how you doing, Heather? Simplifying techniques to educate and inspire stylists. Joe Mills, my man today, podcast. He just stands for high fives. That's what he is. But no, we all know Joe Mills, barber. Lucy Healy, bridal hair community. Hannah, I like this one. Naturally healthy looking hair and self-care. We got any more? I just want to bring in a couple more, just catch up on some of these comments. Emma, what's Emma there? I'm mainly known for extensions. Nicola Saul, I'd say my brand is me. My salon is named after myself. That's always an interesting one, isn't it? What goes above your door? Is it you or is it your team? I noticed, George, you obviously put Society by Georgia Bell.
Georgia Bell, yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I wanted a little bit of me in there, I think.
Cool. Full-time job. Brilliant. Okay, Jez, and thank you, Jez, for that video, didn't you? I love that video. Inner Lux is about the healthiest. Look, here he goes, Mr. Promo. Healthiest hair, but also about empowering and celebrating the individual. Aileen, how you doing, Aileen? To be honest, I'm only figuring my branding out now. Definitely about colour and exclusive one-to-one experience in the middle of nowhere. Sophia is a fantastic role model in the hairdressing industry. Not just for what she does, but for all of us to reflect ourselves. Great stuff here, guys. Keep them comments coming in. My brand is all about inspiring, so keep them coming in. I love it. Love the show. Love you guys. So we're going to move on now into our final topic of the night, and this one is really important, and we're inspired by our gorgeous co-host, that side. and you, of course, George, but that side. Karolina Sauders. And we're going to be talking Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow, the devastating effects of alopecia. So we're going to go into that. Not yet. I jumped ahead. There's one for the CD at Christmas. We're going to go into hairdressing horror stories first. So we're entitled to a start. I'm jumping ahead. Hairdressing horror stories with George Banks.
It's not really a monster, it's me. Welcome back to this week's Hairdressing Horror Stories. So, the first story today is a hair dye disaster. Now let me just ask, who in the salon has a code word or a code phrase for when something goes wrong? I know we do, but I'm not going to disclose that because then it would ruin the entire secretive code phrase word thing. So anyway, one day there was a client getting some foils, and as the client was at the backwash, this isn't my story by the way, was at the backwash getting the foils done, as I unwrapped the foils, the hair was literally just sliding out straight into the sink. Now, our code word in the salon is, do you think this needs a tone? So I said that to my boss after I'd taken all of the foils out and I gave it a really good rinse. My boss came over, and for some unknown reason this one time she didn't actually click on, does this need a tone? And she said, no, it's fine. As she walked away, I shouted, I really think that this needs a tone. So my boss came straight over and took over. Needless to say, this client had received an absolute chemical cut, and even to this day, 2 years later, the client still has free hair extensions on us. So the next hairdressing horror story was actually sent to us by one of my lovely clients, Beth. It isn't actually by us, it's at the previous salon that she used to go to. So she spent £150 on brand new hair extensions, and basically all she'd wanted was silver hair. Now, she went out with an old biddy grey on her roots, and all of her extensions that she'd had fitted were bright green. Now the salon then charged her £200 for this, and when Beth said that she wasn't happy about the colour and the way that it turned out, the salon tried to charge her another £100 to put it right. That is bad service right there. So someone sent me this story and actually really upset me. So they once had a client come in, it was a mother and daughter, and basically the daughter had the most beautiful waist length natural red hair. Now the mother had caught the daughter, who was about 14 I think, on the park drinking with her friends, and as punishment she was making her daughter cut all of her hair off to shoulder length. The daughter throughout the appointment would not stop crying. I don't know if I, do you know what, I don't know if I could have done that. If that was me, I'd have said to the mum, why are you being such a Karen? I once had a client come in for a wash, blow dry and straighten. I remember after I blow dried the hair, I got the straighteners out and I put them on the side of my trolley. Again, this isn't me, this is someone else's story. I go round to the side of the client's head and I section it off and I clip it up with a clip. Now, as I do that, the client just jerks forward, screams and says, oh my God, you've burnt my ear with the straighteners. And I just look on in disbelief because actually the straighteners are still on my trolley, turned off. And in actual fact, all she wanted was her money back for a blow dry and then made the entire thing up. I just could not believe it. So this again is a fantastic one. Thank you for sending. I had got asked to do a wedding, but the awkward thing is with the wedding is I'd actually slept with the groom on a night out. I still said yes. That's a hairdresser thing, isn't it? We can never say no. But I actually quoted a double, hoping that she wouldn't go for the job. And in actual fact, she still went for the job, still wanted me to do the hair. All of the groom's sisters were bridesmaids, so they knew that I'd slept with him. But luckily, I get on with the sisters, so it never ever came out. Awkward.
There's always a sect part of your hairdressing horror stories, George.
What can I say, mate? I can't help what people send me. It's just, I just relay the information back.
I love the code one. Have we all got a code there? I did see some. Have you got a code at all, Karolina, between your team?
Code? No, actually, no, we don't.
A secret
no.
code?
No, we don't have a secret code. It might be just like Like that eye roll, like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. No, we don't have a code. No.
Oh, I love it. I mean, honestly, some of these, and if you have a story, George, isn't it? You, as you always say, get in touch with you with some of these. They do lighten up my Monday mood.
Yeah, absolutely. Any stories you've got, Brekkie with Belle, hairdressing horror stories, then yeah, help me out, please, because it makes my life a lot easier.
And are they all true? Because somebody said to me, surely they can't all be true.
Well, the majority of them are mine, so yeah, they're definitely true. No,
Lucy said, slept with the groom, awkward as you know, haha, definitely. Nicola, we have a code. Yeah, what are your codes? Honestly, your clients won't be watching in, I hope, anyway. But yeah, some great stories, George.
my code, have you seen the green cone? If anyone says that in the salon, then people know we need help.
Emma, this all makes me feel so unwell. Can barely listen. Yeah, I can say you never know what you got here. Colette, what she just came on to hear Georgia Bell say, "I slept with the groom." Perfect time, Colette. Yeah. He's put here, our code is staring at each other without any facial expression. Oh, we all know those. Yeah, definitely codes, because there's always those awkward moments, isn't there? We know them as hairdressers. Things aren't quite going to plan, Karolina.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We do have one, which is often this like, can I just borrow for you 1 minute? Can I just borrow you for 1 minute? That's like, then I know, like, aha, okay, there's something going on. But no problem at all. And then they're like, at the back room.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I think that's classic, actually. Yeah, can I just have a word with you? No words, it's not going. Alini, come to the office. Yeah, I reckon that's one. Nicola, ours is, did you find that product? Yep. Absolutely. So you've all got your combs there, but great, thank you for those, George. So look, I've already given a clue what we're going to be talking about in our final topic. As I said earlier, Karolina's here. Wonderful job. Are you enjoying Karolina being here? Give us plenty of love hearts.
Brilliant.
Isn't it great to have her here? She's stepped in. So the plan was actually Karolina was going to drop in, and we were going to have a chat to her about her experiences of alopecia, and then Jordana couldn't make it tonight, and so we said, look, come into the show and be one of our co-show hosts, because we were talked about this some time back, actually, Karolina. But doesn't she look amazing? A fellow baldy. I feel better now. I feel more in company. But you have been so brave about everything that you've done, Karolina. So we're going to talk about alopecia and the effects of this, how you deal with this with clients. It's a big topic. But before we do that, we've got a video coming up here, courtesy of the BBC. So let's just watch this as we go into Hair Today, Gone Tomorrow, the devastating effects of alopecia.
People say I'm strange looking. That's fine, because I probably am. I think fashion is slowly going in a direction where you can do and be whatever you want. But it's taken a long time to get to that stage, I think.
I have lost hair several times through hair straightening, using hair relaxers, as well as pulling my hair with braids. I experienced hair loss as well after childbirth. What really struck was the sense of isolation, the shame as well. We already have the standards that have been laid out within the fashion industry of what a model on the catwalk should look like, which are, you should have long hair, you should have nice hair. Fashion is alopecia. We are going to use our campaign to blend it into the fashion industry and challenge perceptions.
There's not a lot of models that have alopecia.
Like fashion, it was always like size 0, like super tall, like really long hair. It was the opposite to me.
I lost my hair at the age of 11, and for a long time I just didn't deal with it.
I would be so scared to go out and think, oh my God, do they know?
I mean, mean, I've been kind of dating, and then I've heard that they've said stuff about the situation behind my back. That was probably the stuff that hurt me the most, because it was like, I'm really never going to be accepted.
I really fancy this boy, and he was like, oh my god, this girl fancies me, but I heard she's got no hair, no chance. And I was like, oh my god, he's talking about me.
So
and oh my god, I was gutted.
We've grown up with it thinking people are going to react really badly, they're going to think I'm a monster, guys are going to be repulsed by me.
Yeah. It's normal, it's fine, and like, you can look nice whether you've got long hair or absolutely no hair.
If Eve and I can stand out in the streets with a load of people watching us while we do a fashion shoot, us doing this is smaller steps to getting other people to feel confident. Yeah.
Wow, great video there. Thank you for the, credits BBC for that one. Karolina, I mean, first up, wow, there's some love coming through for your look here. So let's just pick some of these up, and where should we start? Beautiful lady Colette, she's just put. Sophie, how you doing, Sophie? I'm just in love with your head. You look amazing. Thank you. You don't have to compliment me like that. Eleni, beautiful. Kim, beautiful lady. Julie, gorgeous. Karolina, our very own George, she's beautiful. Damien, how you doing, Damien? So stunner. She's bloody gorgeous. Look, isn't that lovely? I love this from Charlotte as well. I think this is very true. It shows off your perfect bone structure. How cool is that? It does. It really does. Isn't that nice?
Guys.
So come on then, Karolina. Tell us about this. When did this start? What was the first signs of this?
Well, actually, it only started 10 months ago. The reason why I'm saying only is because some alopecia sufferers, they actually have it for longer time than that. I've come to know that there's people out there that has alopecia for over years and years. So mine started in January. I found a tiny little, like fingernail size, just patch of like bald patch on the side of my head. And I have to say that absolutely threw me for the rest of the day. I was pointed out when I got to work, Karolina, you got bald patch, and I knew exactly what it was. And I got called Mark, and I was pretty upset, to be honest, because I knew exactly what was going to come with it, but I didn't know to what extent. But I was worried about basically this, that I have to shave my hair off.
Can I just ask you to just tilt your head forward, just to, if you don't mind, Caroline, just to show people where you've lost the hair. So if you could just point that out, just.
Well, I've lost. I don't know if you can see, but I've got like a bald patch there. But then, this is where it started from. This is like my first part, and then that started very small, and then it became bigger, and then gradually I got this one, and then I got a few spots on the front as well.
Okay.
So there was no way of me hiding it.
Right, so you sort of dealt with that. So, I mean, the one thing about alopecia, and I'm going to be completely honest here, George, I'm not hugely knowledgeable about alopecia, but, but are you quite knowledgeable about this, George, this subject?
No, I wouldn't say I'm totally knowledgeable. No, I wouldn't say I know enough about it. I know that a lot of trauma or stress can bring it on. I know that when I had my second child, the same happened to me. So not massive amounts, but actually I receded and I lost all of this hair here. So I did a similar thing to what Karolina's done, and I shaved all my hair off on a number one. And I had that for like 2 years. I think it's a bit. I think you look amazing, mate. To be honest, I think
What was your feelings, though, Karolina, in terms of what were you most fearful of, other than the obvious of losing hair? What kind of went through your mind?
Okay, so when I was in my 20s, I shaved my head just for fun. So it was about number 2 all over. And I remember I hated it. I absolutely hated it. With my first fear was that first of all that obviously I have to shave it all off, but the fact that I didn't know where it come, what's happening, like why am I going bald? So that worried me the most. It's like, what is the reason why I'm going bald for? And I didn't know much about alopecia, and obviously since then I've had this, I have looked into it more and more. So I've realised I've learned more about the different types of alopecia there are, and I wasn't really aware of.
Can you just share that? What did you learn?
So basically, what I have is called patchy areata. So it goes in patches, and it's like an alopecia areata. It comes in different forms. There's different types of alopecia areata, and mine is called patchy areata, which because it comes in those little patches. But then this can form into something called totalis, which means that everything goes. So then I will have no hair, and that totalis can then go into universalis, which is basically could be everything. My eyelashes, my every body hair would go. So that's one that you kind of almost fear for as well, because you think, well, is it going to develop into something like that? Because it could do. So those are the areas that you worry, and then you do have other ones as other parts of other types of alopecia as well. For example, you can lose just the hair, like a thinning. So you have like so your hair is thinning, and quite often we mistake that into just thinning hair, but actually that could be a form of alopecia. Now, what we need to check when we go to have alopecia is not just the fact that we're stressed. Yes, that's a huge factor of the reason why you would lose hair. But you have to look at your underlying health issues, because I've gone through tests for my thyroid, because they say that can be a huge factor of you having an alopecia. You also could have vitamin deficiency, which can also cause it. And they found that I had very, very low vitamin B, which they had to up, and they said that could be something to do with it. They also have found that hormone imbalance can cause that. So it might be that you, as a woman, you're in a contraceptive that actually can cause your hair then falling out or creating alopecia. Of course, what Georgia said as well, losing, having a child, that causes, because that's a hormonal imbalance when you have a child, and that's when you lose your hair. There's so many different factors that can cause alopecia that you do need to you can't just think, okay, I'm stressed, I've lost my hair. You have to go to the doctors and find out what's actually causing it, which quite often they can't tell you, but they can narrow down. Yes, it's not your thyroid, it's not your hormones. It's there's that you go that route then.
And is there a magic potion for it? Because there seems to be a magic potion for everything. Is there a product out there that can actually regrow hair?
Well, actually, there's steroid injections that you can have to be injected into the area, or you can have steroid creams that can also help the hair growth, and they have often they do work. Apparently, they've seen those treatments working. But when I looked into that, the underlying issues you may have from obviously using steroids can be quite severe, like high blood pressure. It can also, some of the treatments can also create all these different autoimmune disorders, like like diabetes even. So it's one of those things that you just, which route you want to go is entirely your route that you want to take. But I haven't gone through those the treatment route at all.
And another question, and I'm going to let George, I know she'd probably have a question for you on this as well, but was there a moment where you became very accepting of it? So you have that, oh my God, the panic, I'm a woman, I'm losing my hair here. to then actually thinking, look, I'm going to really embrace this and feel good about it. I first saw about this as a post on social media, so that made me think, actually, is this where you became quite accepting of this, and I'm going to be proud of what I'm going to be experiencing here?
I think that was the first time when I actually did accept it. There was one evening Mark was always supportive of it, and me shaving my hair, and he said, like, look, just do it. And he put me on to following people that have alopecia, and I realized that there's so many women out there that look great with shaved heads, and it kind of gave me that courage, and he encouraged me to sort of just love my hair, as it is. But that moment when I was so unsure still, when he shaved it off, that evening when I decided, we were just having dinner, and I said, like, right guys, we're going back to the salon after this dinner and we're going to shave my hair off. And Mark was like, really? You sure? And he was really excited because he actually wanted to really do it. So I think that point, I felt like when the hair came off, I felt like I could kind of leave it. I can kind of move on. I can go. And I was told by other people who has gone through this that this is what's going to happen, but I never kind of believed that it would actually be that way, because I thought, how could it be? Because it was so scary. The feeling of being so bare, being so naked, and not be able to, because us women, we do everything to enhance our looks. Okay, and that's why we put makeup on, we do our hair, we have extensions, we have one moment we have a fringe, and then we have this and that. That's what we're like. And then all of a sudden you have, like, whoop, everything gone. You have nothing.
And
you
also,
can't hide.
And you're a mum as well, and also for your, Ozzy, your son. I mean, to see that for a child must be quite distressing. To see them. What about you, George? In terms of, have you got anything that you would like to ask Karolina on this?
I haven't got anything I'd like to ask you. I'd just like to say I think you completely rocked it, and I think you look absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
and I am going to just flag up just some of these comments here, and actually it's a question I want as we just come towards the end of the a really enjoyable show again. And where was it? So let me go back up to Emma. Emma, I'm seeing so many ladies who suffer from hair loss. I think this is something that's really coming in. Sinead, hey Sinead. My sister got diagnosed with alopecia a few weeks ago and felt helpless. I'm 25 years old doing my job and I couldn't give her advice. I felt so bad. I'd done research and got in contact with Wella, and they have been amazing. I think what I want to ask is actually, how do you approach people with alopecia, your clients, Karolina? Because your experience will now put you in a good place as a hairdresser to advise women who are going through a hair loss. I mean, how sensitive we got to be to this subject?
I think before this, I would have felt a little bit more awkward about asking, and it's our job to actually notify our clients what's going on with their hair or scalp. So I think it's really important that we ask those questions. For example, have you had any problems with your scalp? Because first of all, if you have alopecia or you have signs of alopecia, you probably have tenderness in your scalp, or you have maybe itchiness, or you might have, and it's a good point then for them to prompt you. They most probably will tell you that, yeah, I have noticed my hair's thinning. But if they say your hair, their hair's thinning, don't just go and go like, oh no, don't worry about it, love. You have to actually take that seriously, because if they do have underlying health issues and it's about alopecia or something else, then they need to be tested. They need to see a doctor. And I have had actually a client, one of my clients who's been suffering from hair loss, and until I had alopecia, I didn't even think about it being alopecia. It's just because it's a different form of alopecia. So now she's going to be tested for all these different like thyroid and things. And vitamin deficiencies and things like that. So as a professional, I think it's really important that we approach that obviously subtly. And we don't. I always find that I tone my voice down. You don't want the whole entire salon to know that there's a bald patch or there's. You have to really approach it carefully because that person is feeling rubbish, knowing that they have.
Yeah.
They're not looking.
Well, look, Karolina, I just want to say thank you for coming on and sharing this and being so brave about it. And and I think if I couldn't, what an absolute brilliant role model you are. And I think you've done a piece in a magazine recently, didn't you? And you're actually trying to raise some money as well for research into alopecia. Would I be right in saying so?
Yeah, well, I got approached by the Women's Health magazine after I wrote the social media post, and they wanted to write a little article about this because they found it quite, really inspiring. Yeah, I do. There's a foundation called Alopecia Uk, and I do want to raise some money for them because they're doing the research to try and find the cure and help for this condition. So, and there's so many areas to alopecia, like I said, that you need funding for. But one thing I would want to say, I don't want this to define me. That's one of the things that I always, I'm really wary of. That I'm still me. Hair or no hair. I don't want it to define me. It's like I've gone through some rocky road, but I'm still me.
Absolutely. Well, you're gorgeous, and I'm just going to come up with some comments, and thank you for sharing that. So Charlotte, she just says you have a lovely husband. And that was quickly followed by your husband, who said, excited, I was crapping myself. I'm sure, like I say, but having those strong partners by your side, and George, we don't give it, coming away a little bit, I guess, from alopecia, but having a strong husband, you have Dave as well, who, it's great to have those kind of partners by your side who support yourself. And I know you're like, I can see it, bloody Dave. But
Dave the Rave.
Dave the Rave. He's a big shout to Dave. He's always there.
I love him.
But look, I mean, I think it's just such a wonderful subject, and I really appreciate you coming on tonight, don't you, George? I think to have Karolina join us.
Yeah, it's been fab. You've been amazing, babe. But I always knew you were going to be.
Oh, bless you. You know what? Thank you so much for having me. I've had brilliant time. Even running up to this, like all the preparation, I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it. I'm a massive fan of the show, as you know. So yeah, it's been an honour to be part of the show. So thank you for having me.
Well, it's been an absolute honour, and please, lots and lots and lots of love hearts for Karolina. So we're going to say goodbye to you, and me and George are going to have our final farewell. So thank you so much, Karolina. It's been a delight.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We're going to sit in the green room.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, George, do you enjoy that?
Hey, dog. Yeah, it's always good. It's a highlight of my week, mate. The hair show every Monday. I love it.
It is. And how's the best way to make sure they don't miss a hair show, George? What's the best way?
To tune into my Instagram stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Do that. Keep a check on George's posts. I just thought I'd put that tester out.
To check on the Facebook page. We're always putting stuff out. But we are live every Monday at 8 p.m. So bring your banter and let us know what you want to talk about in next week's show. We're always looking for topics, aren't we?
Yeah, so, exactly. So we got, and what's coming up in your week, George? Anything coming ahead that we need to know about?
Loads of work, to be honest. Loads of hair. I've got a business course next week. I've got Doll Face, my aesthetics people, coming down to my studio next Monday.
Oh, you're loving that, aren't you? I noticed there's a slight little look starting to come into you.
I'm like, woo. It's a bit far.
I love you. George, you're amazing. So thank you as always, George. Check out George on our Instagram, and also Karolina Sauders Hair. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but go and check the guys out on there. Go and say hello to them and give them a follow. So you take care, George, and we'll see you next Monday.
Right, guys, take care. Thank you for tuning in.
There we go. Absolutely wonderful. A joy as always. Loved having Karolina here tonight and joining me and George. And great job, Karolina. And Jordana will be back again next week. Looking forward to that. As I say, we're going to be back next week. The best way to make sure that you don't miss the show is to go to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/howtocutIt. there we post the automatic event, as well as the hairdressing community. If you're not a member of the How to Cut It hairdressing community, then find us there in the group. That's where our real hub all comes together. And yeah, just be part of it. Just a quick flag up. Can I bring that up? Yeah, so this week we have the podcast. I always like to give a little shout out. And this one this week is with, let me see if I can bring that up here. Can we do that? Let's have a look. Yeah, Joe Mills. Really good one. Joe's back on the show again. Love this one with Joe. We're talking about the devastating effects of COVID-19, the high streets, how it's being affected. So if you haven't listened to any of the podcasts, do come and check that out on your podcast providers. How to Cut It, episode 171. So thank you all for coming in tonight. It's been a delight. There's some new faces here every Monday. This is series 2. We go to series episode 10, and then we have a 2-week break, then back with a new series. Keep getting in touch. I know Emma's been in touch, Lee, many of you. I'm going to be replying to you all soon on getting more of you involved in the show. So if I haven't come back to you yet, bear with me. I'm with all the messages. I've got lots to go through, but it's great, and you lot are all amazing. Until next Monday, peace, love and smiles all the way. Goodbye.